Speciale Radio Activa Plus.
Welcome everybody to Speciale Radio Activa Plus, the podcast where we explore the intersection of technology, artificial intelligence, and the future of work. I'm your host, Francesca, and today we have an exceptional guest joining us, Jimmy Newson. Welcome to the podcast, and it's an honor to have you here.
Well, it's an honor to be here, and I really appreciate you having me on, and I'm excited to talk about the future.
And let's start with the presentation. Jimmy is a growth strategist, founder of Moving Forward Small Business, and a globally recognized speaker in the field of marketing, AI, and technology. And let's get started. We start with the evolution of AI in businesses. Jimmy, you have been at the forefront of helping businesses, especially small ones, navigate digital transformation. In your experience, how has AI shifted the landscape of these businesses over the past few years?
Yes, a good question. At the end of the day, AI is everywhere. I think that's why the adoption of it in so many places is swift. Why, it's no longer just a buzzword. Over the past few years, we've talked about what are the possibilities of AI. Now it's more about, what are the use cases? What are the real use cases of AI? And, from a business perspective, and how I've seen the landscape shift is, we can do more with less. And I'm going to dive a little bit deeper into that because that's not necessarily fully true when it comes to AI from my perspective. I actually have more on my plate to do because of AI. What I really mean is AI gives you a better starting point. You're working with better material. You're working with better assets. So it saves you time from the things you used to do, but it gives you new things to do, and the focus changes. Acting as a brainstorm partner, acting as a to streamline processes, to enhance decision making, to provide cost-effective alternatives to things that may not been accessible to smaller businesses.
And so, talking about shifting the focus, how this evolution, how this shifted focus impacted the way small businesses approach growth and innovation. You already said maybe better material, better starting point, but what else?
You can get a better view of the big picture, and I think that's where it gets really exciting because you're not stuck in the weeds. As the leader of your organization, whether you're the founder or you're in a leadership position, it gives you and everyone else an opportunity to start, I'm going to use an American football term. You're starting at the 50-yard line instead of at the goalpost, at your own goalpost. So there's an opportunity to understand your competitors better, to do better market research, which at some points could be very expensive for a small business. And now it's literally in your pocket, on your desktop. And the question becomes, how do I use this technology to, one, how do I use it to get the information, but then how do I also use it to get clarity because of the information I have? The good thing is we have access to tons of data. The bad news is we have access to tons of data.
Okay. Yeah. a lot of data. So better material, but we need the technology and the education to use this type of data. And let's shift the focus on the Italian market,
Sure.
a country that's really dominated by small and medium businesses, often described as the backbone of its economy. Based on your global experience, what are the main challenges these businesses face in adopting technology? You talk about a lot of data, but I think there are other maybe problems or like challenges.
Absolutely. There are definitely challenges. And speaking about the Italian market, the cool thing about small business is it's a dominant uh, market in all no matter where you are in the world. So and it's great that to know that Italy has a strong small business market. I think the key here becomes access to, and you mentioned it earlier, to training. Things they can struggle with is funding,
Yeah.
going digital in the first place, whatever that might mean, or getting access. Not everyone is cut out to do this new technology or care to. So having access to qualified uh, professionals who have training in artificial intelligence or machine learning or any type of technology that is happening today. The younger generation may have a better hook on that, but even I consider myself part of the older generation, but I have to stay up on this
Yeah.
technology. So yeah, there's quite a few things that can be a hindrance, and just the fear, the fear of what AI could do to us, and sometimes they put too much focus on the bad players, that could use AI in a bad way. You can't stop that. The key is, are you going to use it responsibly, ethically? Adopt strategies, governance around how you leverage AI in your organization. So these things here can be key things to help the Italian market start to adapt technology better. And I'm trying not to jump ahead of our conversation here, but when it comes to funding, as we get deeper into this entire process, some of these things won't be such a problem. Like I talked about funding. Maybe a few years ago, it would be a lot more expensive for a small business to start to leverage technology and AI. That's not so now. There are cheap alternatives. There are free alternatives. There's a key thing here when it comes to understanding what you should be doing when you're trying to leverage AI. And for me, that's strategy.
Yeah.
Strategy first. When we understand what our business should be focusing on, then AI, like other tools, will play their role in helping you to execute on that strategy.
Yeah. So strategy first, you already talk about these fears and this kind of fears for these, maybe because of these bad players and these bad uses of this technology. And talking about Italy, there's often a cultural resistance to adopting new technologies. And talking about fears, how can businesses leaders address these fears, these challenges, and really help their teams embrace, for example, artificial intelligence, but not only that, as an opportunity rather than a threat?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think, as leaders, we have to lead by example. So that's one. Use the technology, really use it, and I'm not trying to give ChatGPT a bad name, but ChatGPT is not AI. It is a part of the ecosystem. There's so much more about AI. You got predictive analytics, you got customer experience based AI. There's new forms of AI. I only learned a couple months ago that I still haven't fully put into my brain yet, that I'm like, oh God, I gotta learn that too. It's
Yeah.
so you got that. You got training. We have to start to offer training. I was on with someone that I actually met in the Netherlands at a huge conference where I met you.
Yeah.
And he's in South Africa. So, and he's now doing a course at one of the universities on AI. And so so I even asked him, I'm like, why are you taking it? Because I want to really get into the mind of, why do you think it's important to take a class at a university? Like, I go, I just dive into the tool. So, he goes, we're going to learn about the history. We're going to learn about other things. And I go, how applicable is that in a business setting? Because, I'm trying to figure out where he's going with that. But
Yeah.
for us small business owners, we need just actionable things to do. We need to, what is this AI? How is this AI going to help me keep the lights on? How this AI going to help me meet payroll? How is this AI going to do this? So finding a champion. That maybe there's somebody in your company that loves to take on a new challenge. Let them be the example for understanding and using new technology, and show the others that it shouldn't be feared, it should be embraced. So I think that between integration, meaning you use it, training, offering the right training, and then of course finding a champion that can be that first person in the water type of scenario, so everybody else gets in the water, will help ease people into going, okay, maybe this is not as bad or as scary as I thought.
Yeah. So not remain on the theoretical level, but try. And a topic I find fascinating in the balance between AI and human creativity. You have worked, I learned, in the Netherlands, and the last time we see each other, you've worked with countless organizations around the world. How do you think businesses can effectively integrate AI without losing their unique creative identity? So you talk about trying, stay on the experimentation, the new magical product, new AI, new customer experience based. But how do you think businesses can integrate in an ethic way, in a human way, this kind of technology? It's really a great challenge.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I have a simple workflow, very simple. Human, AI, back to human. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
It's AI is not meant to replace you. People, the whole thing that AI will replace people is not fully the way that it's playing out. It's displacing people. People are losing their ability to do that job they used to do. So there's an opportunity to evolve, from the standpoint of the business leadership, business owner, whoever. There's an opportunity for them to upgrade the people that work for them or with them to more purposeful work. There is, if a position disappears, another one will open up. As AI is everywhere. AI is integrated in most of the tools most businesses are probably using today. The key is they're probably not leveraging it to its fullest. But again, going back to that, how do we keep that creativity? I feel even more creative now because of AI, because I don't have to do all that prep work that I hate, that can be extremely time consuming. Just to give you an example, I speak a lot. I train constantly, small businesses around strategy and technology and things like that. And last month when we met, I had 17 presentations in that month alone. And AI played a huge part in the creation of that entire process. And I would not have slept that month if it was not for AI.
I think no one can sleep with this kind of number.
Yeah, it was a combination of panels. It was a combination of actual presentations and trainings, and live and online. But again, AI helped me format, structure, deliver, design, implement. So it was a huge part of it. And the end result, I got more LinkedIn leads. I mean, not LinkedIn, I got more LinkedIn connections. I've got partnership opportunities I'm working through now. I've got proposals going out for new clients. We've got more excitement within our community. So these are the wins. And then the key as a small business is now I can reinvest and bring on more people. And of course, one of my requirements is for the people is some level of AI and technology knowledge, because I need that, because they need to be on that same panel, that same plane as me.
Yeah. So you already give us an example, a really, really touchable example of you're using AI, successfully using AI.
Mm-hmm.
Can you give us another example where AI has successfully enhanced creativity rather than replacing it? Maybe to reinforce the statement, human, AI, back to human.
Absolutely. And so this will go back to to my favorite word, strategy. I know what needs to be achieved. I know what needs to be done because we have a strategy in place. We have a very solid business strategy. And that dictates what we should be focusing our time and energy on. That gives us the ability to say no to the things that still might sound good, but are not the things we should be doing. And then we can leverage, once we know what we should be doing, then we go and look for AI and whatever technology to help us do that. So now with that being said, from a creative standpoint, we're talking about, content creation, in most cases. So, we can leverage it through, working with our designers. So we have, I'll come up with a concept or idea, or one of our partners or members or whatnot to come up with something we should be doing. And now next thing you know, who's going to do that work? And, and if I get tasked with anything, because I do get tasked with stuff, I'm going to my tools, and so let's just say we need to do a new ebook. I now have tools available to me that can do 90% of that book. Now, just because, and again, this is where the human comes back in, because of course, once that, I need to, first of all, before we can even use AI, I need to know what I'm trying to create and what is the outcome I'd like to get from that is being created. And there is where the human part still needs to come in. The tool doesn't know why you need it. The tool doesn't know what is the effect you would like people to take away from what it is creating. Yeah. That is where you still have to play a huge role. And then you should never be writing or creating something around things that you have no experience in. That's really the biggest thing, because if you do, you don't know what is right or wrong, because the AI tool doesn't know what is right or wrong. Yeah. That's built back up to you.
You have to know what is right and wrong to maybe
to adjust, to tweak,
to train the AI to put out the work that we want, not the work that the AI wants. So
yeah, absolutely. And to go even further than that is, we're not all going to be programming in AI, but I could take at least I think I can. I could take the crappiest AI tool and still make a great product, because it's just a matter of how much work do I need to do after it gives me back something to work with. And that's where the 50-yard line thing comes in, where you're in the middle of the field instead of at the end, and you have to go the whole distance. Now I'm either at the 50, I'm at the 40, I'm at the 70, I'm all the way at the other end of the goalpost, because sometimes I don't have to do much work. This AI stuff is getting so great that I can look at it and go, holy crap, this is really, really good. But at the end of the day, part of it was the way that I set it up in the first place to give me what I look for, and this practice. And that's where you've had these new roles coming in, these AI prompters, and now you got AI agents, all these things that are starting to come into play as it starts to evolve and really settle. It's, and I'll give you another example. I'm working on a massive proposal for a university, and I'm not designing the proposal just for the university. I'm designing it for scale, so I can duplicate it across not only the industry of higher learning, but other industries. And I'm actually using an AI tool that I never used before, and to create this proposal, because we're human. I don't want to create the damn proposal. Excuse me. I don't know if I should say that, but I don't.
No one want to create a proposal.
But it's fun because this AI tool is crushing it. Now I still have to assemble it, but it's giving me the pieces that I'm still like, I don't know what I should do here. And this is where it's a brainstormer, it's a researcher, market research tool. It's a partner. And I'm like, wow, this is great. And and then my experience tells me, okay, that's too high. That's not, I wouldn't charge that, because I'm even asking about pricing, and I'm going, oh, I like that. Let me use that as a starting point for this. Let me do a range, and again, so it's becoming my creative partner. And instead of me having to bring together a room of 20 people or hire a major consultant, and believe me, I'm a consultant. So, but this is, it allows me to do so much and get things done and get things off my plate, especially for a small business that doesn't have all the resources of a bigger brand.
Talking about resources, I am trying to put myself on the shoes of the people that are listening to us, and they already bite what you said. So a strategy, every opportunity to not do the gravy work and not the creative work. So maybe someone is concerned that the AI is too expensive or complex for them. And what advice would you give to the businesses looking to adopt AI? So they are convinced they want to use it, but they want to use it on a budget and don't want to use it on a bad way, but in an ethic way, but on a budget. So,
yeah, the first thing I would do is I would look at the current tools you're using. There's a lot of tools that are integrating AI into it. I have tools that still haven't fully integrated AI. I'm a little shocked by them, but I use HubSpot. HubSpot now has AI integrations. So there's two tools. There's a tool that you used that integrated AI, and then there are tools that are built AI first. And so I'm leveraging both. And because there is so much competition in these tools, there are a lot of free tools available now. Even I'm playing with Gemini now, which is through Google, I believe. Which is, there's a free version, and then of course they're now starting to offer a paid version as well. But I have quite a few tools that I'm using that are free, on a freemium plan. But understand, this is an investment, and the price is down. A lot of these tools you can get for $15-20 a month. When it comes to my presentation, I use a tool called Gamma. I pay $20 a month, and where I used to spend hours we do at least 7 presentations a month alone just in our community. So that would cost me anywhere from 10 to 12 hours a month, just on the designing part, not the creation part. Well, no, that's before. That has been dropped down to probably 2 to 3 hours from 12. So the question becomes, can I afford it? Can I not afford it? And you don't listen to your friends that goes, hey, you have to be using this or using that. That's not the defining factor of how you determine what tools you should be looking at to invest in. You have to look at your strategy to go, what am I trying to achieve? And can AI help me achieve it? That is how you look at that. And that's how you can look at, you get what you pay for. There are some great tools out there that are free, but believe me, those paid tools really work. So, and you just have to, I think the hard part is you need to test enough tools. There's going to be a learning curve. So there's no way around that. You're going to have to, it's like riding a bike. If you've never rode a bike, you're not getting on the bike and starting to ride it. You have to learn to ride it. And I think people forgot that it's so much I'm going to have to learn. Yes. Period.
So, according to your strategy, and to in mind that every businesses, every enterprise have their strategy. But according to your strategy, what is your, if I can ask, naturally, your true top 3 tools maybe that are particularly accessible for small businesses to get started.
Well, you need some form of generative AI tool, So let's look at the categories first. So you need a generative AI tool that you can turn to on a daily basis to help you create, whether that's words or graphics, audio. The second one is some type of customer service related tool. And at this point, I lean on an AI-based chatbot. So now you're covering that side. The final tool I would recommend category is something in predictive analytics. That means it can take big data, analyze it, and give you something back. More or less paint a picture of what am I looking at here? What is this data telling me so I can move forward? Okay. So now a couple of my favorite tools. I use AnyWord, which is a generative AI tool that does incredible stuff. I probably spend every day in this tool writing content. So it's a small investment. I think they have multiple plans. As you start to scale up, the key here with this technology is, can I tie it back to revenue? Okay. If I can tie what I'm doing back to revenue, it eventually pays for the tool. Okay. You can search free AI tools for generative AI, free AI tools for, there's actually a website, let me rephrase that, called there's an AI for that.com. And you can find AI tools all day. You can buy, I bought tools on AppSumo, one-time price that I'm now using. So there's cheap ways. It's cheap enough where the money now doesn't matter. It's what am I trying to achieve? So that's why I wanted to give you the 3 buckets. You need something in generative AI, you need something in customer experience, and you need something in predictive analytics. They are all AI-based things. So for I think I use Chatling for our chatbot, and then for predictive analytics, one of my favorite tools is a tool called Delve.ai, and it can take analytical data and give you an idea across many different things. It could talk to me about, it takes my historical data from Google Analytics, Google Search Console, your CRM if your plan is high enough, and it tells you about these people. It puts them into buckets. It creates personas. It also builds leads, and gives you insights on how, what organizations are on your site, what they're looking at, what stage of the buying cycle are they in? Are they in research made? Are they in intent to convert? And that has helped us with our strategy, where we're developing, we're updating and innovating on our products and services. We're creating new opportunities where we didn't realize there were, because the data is going, here's what's happening on your site. Not only here's what's happening, but here's the bucket of people and the percentage of that people, and here's what they think. Here's what the problems are. Here's what type of content they like. Here's other sites that they interact with, podcasts, things like that. And when I have that data, I now can put together a better marketing strategy. I can go in and update content. I've added strong call to actions to specific pages because of this data, because now if I know 60% of that audience fits this particular bucket and they struggle with this, I now can put a webinar on that page, or I could put a replay video on that page with a strong call to action and start to see conversions, because I have better insight because of the data that was given to me through my AI tools.
Yeah. So more data to have more time to your business strategy. And I think if I am a person that listening to this podcast, you give us example, you give a perspective. Maybe you can give us other suggestion. Maybe what are the most common mistakes that new businesses make when beginning their AI journey, and how can they avoid them? Because maybe you are already convinced them, and they're trying.
Yep.
and what the kind of mistake they can avoid.
Yeah, I think going in blindly is probably the first thing. You should probably do some homework.
Okay.
It's almost like trying to pitch a new lead. I can't pitch a new lead if I do not know nothing about them. And maybe that's more of a B2B thing, but it helps to understand, before you go. If you were to go to the store, first of all, you need to know where the store is. And you need to kind of have an idea of, does the store have what I'm looking for? And now, is there a way for me to, before I get to the store, to search, and that's the tools. I want to go to the store, but I don't want to waste my time. Can I call the store? So there's your research part. So I think you need to, and one way to do that is from an AI perspective, is maybe subscribe to, there's a lot of AI, really great AI-based newsletters popping up, where I get a lot of great information, and I look at what I think is relevant to me. Two of them that I subscribe to is, one's called the Neuron, the other one's called the Rundown AI. And sometimes there's some high-level stuff there. Sometimes there's some very practical stuff. And I subscribe to them because I can't read them all the time, but for some reason, the right one sometimes catches me. And I'm like, ooh, I need to know about that. I need to know about that. You need to, go to conferences like the conferences where you and I met, to start to get an insight on what is out there, what's available. Have conversations with your peers about, are you using AI? And if you are, how is it working out for you? Ask questions. Okay. Yeah. And then once you do that, still in the back of your mind is your strategy, because everybody's got an opinion. Well, you know what you should be doing, right? And if they don't know the inner workings of your business, you can't just act on what they tell you should do, because you know the inner workings of your business. So you have to determine, is this the right move for me? I know I need to be using AI. And that is a question I get a lot. I literally had a conversation yesterday. A guy goes, I need to be using AI, so where do we start? I'm like, I have no clue, dude. I go, what you need to do. I go, what you need to do. I go, we need to have a conversation. You got to tell me about your business.
Tell me.
Yeah. Tell me about your business. Tell me what you've tried. Tell me what you're trying to achieve in the next year. And now we have a starting place. Then I can do my research. Yeah. I asked him, he goes, I got a team of 6 marketers. I don't know if they're using AI right. And I got this. I go, I need a list of the names. And I don't need, he goes, you want the phone? I go, I don't need to talk to them. I go, I just want to know what they're responsible for. Let me do my own research, and then we'll come back. And then I need to talk to them. Because again, I need to go, what are you struggling with? What is it that you're trying to, because that's going to now give us the ability to go, is there an AI to help with that? Is there better technology based on what you're using? And now it's my job as the consultant to know these options. And that's the beauty of my job, where I get to work across so many different verticals. I get to see what works better in one industry versus another, or it doesn't matter that the industry, so you need knowledge on your side.
I think you're already giving us like actionable steps, because my next question will be like, our audience loves practical advice. And my question before was, what are 3 actionable steps that small businesses can take today to start leveraging AI? But you already talked to us about training. You're already talking about learning what kind of strategy, what do you want to achieve in the next year, in the next few years. Mm-hmm. So maybe I can shift the question. Yep, absolutely. And other than the things that we already talked about, you have like one practical advice, tips outside of what we're already talking about?
It's
I know it's hard, because you're already giving us everything. So I just wanted to make sure it's an opportunity to talk with you, and so I just want to ask everything. So
sure. No, absolutely. Just embrace technology. This advancement in technology has given us as small business owners, and trust me, ladies and gentlemen, I am a small business, has given us the ability to do things at scale. So I think trust is really the big thing here is, you're not going to use it. At least I hope everybody I'm talking to listening, you're not going to use it in bad ways. Leverage this technology. Don't be afraid of it, because after that is strategy. And I keep coming back to that because nothing matters if you don't have a direction. And a direction, and a direction is not just for you. When I say strategy, the direction is for everybody that interacts with you, that's on the same journey as you. And now I'm going to upgrade you to the brand. The brand needs to move in a single direction, and everybody needs to be on the ship. So think of you got the ocean, and everybody just can't be floating in the water, hoping that the current is going to take them all in the same direction. You need to be on a boat, and the boat is the direction. That way we know that we're all actually going on the direction. So again, it comes back to strategy, but the key here is just not to be afraid of technology. Take small steps. Start with a single thing. I know we covered a lot in this conversation here, Francesca, but just take a small step. Do one thing. All right. What tool am I using that has some AI? Just let me learn that. That's it.
So before we wrap up, let's get, if I can, a little personal. You're known for I know you for your passion and your vision, and what drives you to keep pushing the boundaries of innovation. You talked before about every newsletter you read about, the event you go around the world, but what drives you to keep pushing and to keep moving forward?
Personally, I think it's just the possibilities. When you do experiment with things, all of a sudden you're like, wow, that is really cool. I didn't know it could do that. So I think that the exploration and the excitement of what's possible, because you're getting, like you said, and we just have to start doing it, playing around with it. I look back at when the iPad first came out. Okay, when the iPad came out, I thought it was the most useless piece of technology ever, because all you could do is play a few games on it. Okay. And then I learned, and at the time it wasn't that, that's what primarily I was using it for, that and watching my favorite show. Now, it's an integral part of my tech stack, my live tech stack. It evolved, and I evolved with it. So I think, we have to start to embrace it. And the reason being is because somebody already is. I still know a few people that are going, oh, I'm not going to do this, I'm not going to do that. And I'm like, fine, fall behind, because that's what's going to happen. It's not that you're not going to use it, it's going to leave you behind.
Yeah.
I hope I answered the question. Oh, wait. And then the passion side for the business is our vision. So our vision is to be the #1 strategic support system for small businesses globally. Our mission is to save 1 million small businesses from failure, leveraging innovation, technology, and strategy. And so these are the things that motivate me, because when I'm on calls with small business owners, when I'm in our community and we're working and we're all talking through problems, and you can see the moment that it clicks for them, that's rewarding. And now next thing you know, they come back with this successful, hey, I implemented this thing you said. Wow, I didn't know that was possible. That keeps me going. And I'm like, yes. I'm like Dr. Frankenstein. I'm like, it lives, you're just like crazy. And so those are the things that keep me going, is giving real actionable advice and people actually doing that. And now then they see the rewards. I guess the takeaway is, it's not as hard as it looks. I think it's just not as clear as it can be.
Yeah. So in the end of this interview, I can reveal that strategy is my favorite word too. And
Okay.
finally, what advice would you give to the next generation of innovators, entrepreneurs about embracing AI and driving positive change? This is my last question.
Sure.
So for the young people, for the young innovators.
Mm-hmm. It's never about the tool. Tools change, they evolve. You have to adapt a strategy first approach. I'm going to say it again. You have to adapt a strategy first approach. Strategy is the evergreen of content.
Yeah.
Okay. So the tools will be replaced. Even when we do our training, I let everyone know this is strategy, and we're using what tools are available to us at the moment. And if you watch this in 2 years, and as fast as technology changes, it still should be somewhat relevant because it's never about the tool. And make no mistake, everyone, AI is not the end of the journey. AI is a part of the process that is led by strategy.
Yeah. So take away strategy, and strategy again.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, and that one. So, in the end, I want to I appreciate your effort to stay with us from New York to Italy. So I really appreciate your kindness and your approach, and say bye to our listeners and our
Bye.
audience. Bye. And I hope that we can talk about next year. So let's give like a little promise to keep in touch.
Absolutely.
And and talk about technology, AI, and maybe the next new tool in a strategy way in 2025. So
Absolutely.
thank you so much for your time, and thank
Thank
you
you.
to the audience.
Well, I appreciate being here, and thank you all for giving me a bit of your time.
Yeah. And this is Francesca. This is Speciale Radio Activa Plus, and my special guest, Jimmy Newson, is like the founder of Moving Forward Small Business. And I say bye and see you next time.